What note did you come up with? Did you come up with G, 3rd fret of the 6th string? If you did, that's the right answer. Well, let's look at what might have happened. The first thing to consider is what register are we in? By that I mean, where are we on the keyboard? Are we way over on the left side or up on the high side or in the middle? In terms of low and high, where are we? Because when you play the guitar, you have to know where to look for these answers. If I play this note, don't look, oh, you can look, whatever. Well, that doesn't sound at all like this, even though they're both G's, which means G, G, G. You sing the same letter name, but you're in octaves. An octave is just every 12 frets. It's double the frequency. That's why that works. If I had played this note, would you have been looking down here? So that's the first thing we have to deal with. I'm going to present this course as if maybe you're a beginner. All right? If you're a beginner and you've never really gotten this idea about music, never really thought about it, remember that it's a whole range, just like left to right on a piano, of low to high. Therefore, if you're looking for something, if you needed a tool, if you needed a crescent wrench, would you go into your kitchen drawer or would you go out in the garage into your rollaway toolbox? You'd go to the right place where that tool would be. If you hear a low note, are you going to look on the top strings of the guitar? And I say top in terms of pitch. You're not going to look up over here. That goes back to this concept of knowing your instrument in terms of pitch. I know that if I play this G, it's not going to sound the same as just, even though they're all Gs, they're in different octaves. And chart number 6 reveals this, so does chart number 7. So the first thing you had to do was to say, all right, he's way down low, and it must be on the 6th string. That's the first thing you want to do. When you go to figure something out off a recording, if you're listening to the bass line, and I need to talk about this for a minute because I play bass. I love playing bass. I know people who are singers or who play horns, and indeed even guitar players, but primarily a lot of singers and horn players who are always up in the melody. They're always up in the higher register, and they're not concerning themselves, they're not training their ear to hear the foundation, the root, the bass. Whereas a bass player hears it from a great vantage point. You hear the root that you're playing, and then you hear all the activity up around you in this vertical column, so to speak, of scale degrees and whatnot. And you hear the harmonies because you're down the bottom. It's important for you to hear roots. So that's how we're going to proceed in this particular course. We're going to be building chords, so we need to have a foundation. So I'm going to make it really easy for you. For this course, everything I play, every time I quiz you, it'll be somewhere on the 6th string between open and 12th fret. Okay, that makes it easy because down the road, like I said, we're going to build chords, we're going to look at theory, etc., etc. Let's go back to what might have happened when you tried to figure that out. You should have, I hate to put things that way, but the ideal approach, the best approach would have been, here I am playing it and you couldn't see what I was doing. So you're going to sing that. Bum. Now let's say you can't sing that low. That's where you can sing up an octave, and it's still going to give you the same information just because you're up an octave. Bum. Well, you went in and you hear this note, and so you sing the note. Bum. Then you should do this. You stop listening to me. I only played it for a few seconds. Then you try to keep playing that note in your head. Bum, bum, bum. Okay, I've got that note. And then, watch how I'm going to do this. If you start with open and you go all the way to the 12th fret, you have exhausted all 12 of your options, right? So let's just approach things that way. And we're going to do it systematically because I want you to hear when you're cold, when you're getting warm, when you're getting hot. And you're just going to use your index finger. So you would have done this. Bum, bum, there's my G. Oh, so if I hit the open E, I'm playing a note that is it higher or lower than my reference pitch, the one I'm trying to find. Bum, size down there. Bum, bum, bum. Here's what's probably going to happen. And I'm not going to explain this after this because it's general principle. You hear this note that you're trying to find, right? You're singing it. So you got to hold fast to that because when you play other notes that are not that note, we'll call them wrong notes. They're either too low or too high. You're going to want to gravitate toward those notes, the ones you're actually playing with your voice. and you're going to lose your reference pitch. So here's your principle. Make sure you hold fast to that G note, and you might want to try this. You know, I could keep talking for 5 minutes, and then I'd come back and I'd sing that G note for you, and I'd still be in tune. That's developing tonal memory, pitch memory. You want to develop that. So here's my G. So if I sang this, I'd say, okay, I'm too low, so I've got to come up. So you do this, you go bum, 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 bum. So I'm not too far off. It's down so low, it's kind of murky, but bum, bum. I'm getting warmer, bum, I'm getting warmer. I'm hot, I'm right on it. Let's say you had started from the 12th fret and worked your way down. You would have done this. G, there's my G, so you'd play this. Now, obviously, I'm way higher. I'm much higher than the pitch that I need to find. So I play that G, or I sing that G. So I'm cold. Bum. Your ear's going to want to make you sing bum, bum. You're going to want to sing that. You got to hold to this G. Bum. Did you hear what I just did, right? I kept singing that G. Bum. And you can hear the tension when you're a half step away, either above or below. It's going to be a fight going on. So this also teaches you how to resolve a note for improvisation later on. Okay, so I just showed you the protocol of how you should practice. You got another note coming up in the next lesson.